and I think a lot of people are still caught up on it. So hopefully this helps to clarify some things. It's about the force-velocity relationship, and this video is only going to be talking about concentrics, and it's a bit of an oversimplification, so sorry if you wanted more nuance. Anyways, force-velocity relationship, when we're talking about concentrics, the idea is that the higher the force you want to produce, then the less quickly you're able to move. And it's also that with really high velocity contractions where you're moving really quickly, you're not able to produce very much force. And when we break it down, that should make sense. It should be pretty intuitive. So like, let's say that this is like the heaviest weight that I can lift for a bicep curl, theoretically, right? So let's say this is a really heavy weight and I can curl it once, but it's really difficult for me to curl up. We should know intuitively that if I want to lift this weight, I'm not going to be able to move it very fast, right? It's like if you try to lift a maximal weight, it's not just going to fly up like that. It's going to move really slowly, no matter how hard you try to move it, right? So again, kind of an oversimplification, but we can think about it as if you're trying to lift a weight that's really heavy, you're just not going to be able to move it really fast. It's just too heavy to move quickly. So I think that's the part that makes sense to people, right? Where you have if you have a really high force, you're just not going to be able to move very fast. Where I think people get caught up is once you move to lighter weights that you can move more easily. So if we, let's take like this as the weight instead. So now let's say this is a weight that I can curl pretty easily. So it's no longer super heavy for me. So if I wanted to, I could curl it really slowly like this, or I could curl it really quickly. So I could do either way. Now we need to come back to physics, where force equals mass times acceleration, right? So when I move the weight really quickly like this, that requires a lot more acceleration. And because force equals mass times acceleration, well, moving it quickly like this is going to require a lot more force. On the other hand, if I'm moving it really slowly like this, now there's not very much acceleration, right? That acceleration component is really small, so it doesn't really require very much force when I'm moving it slowly. So hopefully that makes sense. Just again, to recap, hopefully minimize confusion. If I'm lifting a weight that's really heavy, and it's really, really hard for me to lift, I'm just not going to be able to move it very quickly. I'm going to have to move it slow. But if I have a lighter weight that I can move pretty easily, moving it faster is going to require more acceleration, and therefore moving it faster is going to involve more force. Hope that makes sense. If it was helpful and you want a follow-up video on eccentrics, let me know. It's just a whole different animal, so I'm not going to cover it now.